from Dubai Internet City.
This is the Business Breakfast.
All things real estate and property, and great timing as well with Bayut publishing its annual Dubai Property Market Report for last year, 2022, which makes for some great revelations with regards to the most searched for areas and prices as well. To work through some of the talking points from that report, absolute pleasure to welcome into the studio the Director of Sales, dubizzle and Bayut. It is Fibha Ahmed, joins us live here this morning. Fibha, thanks so much indeed for being with us.
It's always a pleasure. How are you today?
We're okay, and we're all the better for seeing you here this morning as well, armed with statistics, which is always good when we try to get to the bottom of all things real estate. Look, you work in the business, we talk about the business, and there ain't a day that goes past these days when people talk about the property market and what's going on with the prices and what's going on with rents and what's going on with the amounts that people are asking for. That changes seemingly on a daily basis.
Correct.
And yet, how important is it to look at it year on year as you do with this report, this annual report?
Well, it's very important, especially in such a dynamic place where things are changing consistently, where real estate is such a dynamic place, especially in the UAE, that there are new projects launching, there is new demand. With the strategic location of our city, we have so many people who are looking to make this city their second home with all the initiatives that the government has launched. I think it's imperative that people should keep an eye on what has been happening, and more so stay up to date as to what's happening recently in the current months. That's why I did some analysis of what's happened in Jan and Feb so far to put things into context and kind of give you some numbers when we talk about what happened last year and what do we see moving forward.
So what is the transactional data telling you at the moment with regards to where we're at?
Very, very promising. I read the report for last year, and it said that there was a 50% increase in volume and value of real estate transactions in Dubai in 2022 as compared to 21. And just about last night, I was doing some number crunching, and I noticed that there's almost 56% increase in transactions in the UAE in Jan and Feb this year as compared to Jan and Feb last year. So when you compare this to what happened overall last year and then what's happening currently as we speak, the growth trajectory is on. The market is booming. Yes, we hear prices are up. We hear rents are up. But people love this place.
What's it telling us about price increases? That's a question that people ask time and time again. You and all the team at Bayut, us here on the radio as well. What are we seeing in terms of digit growth?
Double-digit growth in prices, and especially for more well-established areas like your downtown, your Business Bay, your Palm Jumeirah. I think what I've realized by looking at all these reports is once you come here and you get a flavor of the city, you want to stay here. And you put your hand in your pocket, you make the best savings so that you can continue to live that lifestyle. I see that in apartments, I see that in villas, I see that in renters. Once they move to an upscale villa community, they want to stay there. And with all the growth that's happening in this region, with all the money that people are making in whatever businesses they are, I think people have done a pretty steady job of staying where they are. So yes, all the upscale and all the well-established areas are showing double-digit growth, and not just attributed to foreign investors. I think us residents who've lived here for so long have certainly contributed to this growth.
Let's talk about investment if we can. And obviously a lot of people looking at the market as an opportunity for investment. When it comes to return on investments for those getting involved in the market, which sort of districts jump off the page for you in terms of the rents and the values that are being generated?
You have the regular contenders. You have Dubai Marina, which generates great ROI for apartments. When you want to look at villa communities, you can look at JVC. They have some decent townhouses there. You can also look at Dubai Land. You can look at the Mac Hills. Very decent ROI, 6 to 7%. When you look at apartments, of course, you have your darling International City, which is 9% and above, purely because of the great ROI that it gives. And I've noticed people don't buy one or two apartments there. They buy like a bulk, right? So the regular contenders are still there. You have your marinas, you have your business bay in downtown, purely because of the location of those areas, close to the metro. People want to be next to metro, next to the action, next to the business community. They also continue to churn good rental returns. And of course, JVC is also there on the list. Better area, upcoming area. Lots of construction has happened. I remember JVC about 10 years ago. It was difficult to get around and get past there, but it has shaped up nicely.
Yeah, and there's always been demand for apartments here, with good reason as well, for those coming to the city. Villas, let's talk about the villa market if we can. Again, seeing demand for villas, seeing digit growth on villas themselves. Is it still the same places that people are looking for? Because there's one thing we've heard, certainly last year, was a big issue with regards to supply and demand, specifically with the villa segment.
Correct. And I think that continues because people, like I mentioned earlier, they want to stick to the lifestyle that they are used to, right? So for villa communities, Ranches is doing pretty well, consistently growing in prices. It's an Imari community. It has a decent lifestyle to it. It has schools. It's a proper little city on its own on that side of town. Then you have your Dubai land areas, which are great for investment. And there are some decent projects coming up on that side. You look further down, Damac Hills has decent villas. Dubai Hills has luxury villas, where 6-bed can go up to way over double-digit million ticket size. And you have your darling Palm Jumeirah as well over there.
Of course. Question then for you, and I'm sure it's a question you get asked a lot, but it's with regards to, we're getting listeners texting in at the moment. So let's take a number, 2 million dirhams, say. If someone has 2 million dirhams burning a hole in their back pocket at the moment, if they want to put their marker down the property market here, what's the Bayut advice?
Great. 2 million. You could do a lot with it. If you're looking for a good ROI, then I would say buy a bunch of apartments in International City. Like I mentioned, 9% ROI wouldn't hurt anybody. On a different note, if you're looking for location, then you have some 1-bed apartments in Marina. You could find some in Business Bay. You could find some decent studios in downtown, Palm Jumeirah. And if you're looking to go the villa route, which if you're an investor or you're looking to live yourself, you always want to take into account the service charges, which are always relatively lower in the villa communities. You could bag yourself some decent options like a 2-bed in Spring still, which would be well in the range of 2 million. You could also buy some in JVC, and then you can also look at the Mac Hills.
Obviously, we've been talking about sort of year-on-year data at the moment as well, and that's something that you focus on with the Dubai Property Market Report as well. Again, I know we're at the beginning of 2023, but from what you've seen in the early part of this year, more of the same throughout 23?
100%. Jan and Feb has clearly shown me same areas, double-digit growth, highest transactions. Our dear friends in real estate market are claiming their best week ever in the history of the real estate or in the history of their own agency or brokerage setup. So I see that this trend is going to continue to grow and stay on the same trajectory.
Will we see it calm down? I mean, traditionally we've seen calm down during Ramadan, etc. But given the market is so buoyant at the moment, will we see a slowdown during Ramadan?
I think Ramadan is a great time for people. They have more time on hand, lesser working hours. They can actually go and look around. I have personally known people who made some great investments in Ramadan. Yeah, it might slightly slow down just because of the nature of the holy month and how we celebrate it here. But I see through and through really positive year for real estate in the UAE.
Fibha, can't thank you enough. Thanks so much indeed for coming in to the studio and telling us, or bringing us all the latest from Bayut. Fibha Ahmed is the Director of Sales at Dubizzle and Bayut, joining us live here in the studio. Big thanks to all the team at Bayut for that one. And a quick reminder that you can find that report online.